which is good. Yep. Okay. So I say to Joanne what to do. Ask Joanne. Yeah. You sure? Shall I just start? Are you sure? Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's not an easy slot to have just after lunch, but I'm glad you're able to make it. My name's Tahseen Jafry, and I'm from Glasgow Caledonian University, and what I'm here to do is to present to you our GCU Climate Justice Resource Hub, which is a sound and robust evidence-based knowledge and information resource. So the quick question is, how did all this come about? Well, the historical backdrop to this is when Dr. Mary Robinson came to Glasgow Caledonian University to deliver the prestigious Magnuson lecture on climate justice challenges and opportunities. And following this, she had a conversation with our Principal and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Pamela Gillies, and indicated that there is a global lack of sound and robust evidence-based knowledge and information on climate justice. She actually indicated that there is no one single portal where information could be accessed. Now, our Principal acknowledged the urgency of this and took it on board and made a commitment to producing that evidence base. Given my experience and background of working in international development, that remit then came down to me as a challenge to take on board, which I was then delighted to do. So that's the historical backdrop to how all of this happened. So what did we do? How did we begin? Well, taking as our starting principles, then the principles of climate justice set out by the Mary Robinson Foundation. We got together with Dr. Tara Shine, who's in our audience here, and Ciara O'Connor, and we had many discussions on how we would then take this forward. And essentially we developed a methodology for shaping the creation of a repository on scientifically sound knowledge and information, which free from political bias. We basically set out to determine one sort of key thing, and that was to determine what is the current global picture of work in the area of climate justice. What we did was we conducted an initial search for peer-reviewed journal articles and found that the information available out there was scattered. It's scattered across a wide range of journals, and there was no one comprehensive place where literature could be located. And this didn't surprise us, just given the nature and the diversity of the subject of climate justice in itself. So given this situation, we then set about to develop a more robust methodology for conducting a desk-based review, a systematic review of all the literature available. And I've put the methodology up there. It was basically followed the principles of the PRISMA statement, which is the preferred reporting items for systematic reviews and meta-analysis. Now, I don't have time to go into that now, but basically involved a series of steps from setting out research parameters and identifying and analysing data and literature. Basically, what the search was built around were the principles, the pillars of climate justice. So we used these pillars, and we also created a definitive list of search criteria on which we would then locate, to be able to locate our journal articles. This has taken almost 18 months to complete. The databases we searched for 4 global databases, Science Direct, Web of Knowledge, ABI Inform, Google Scholar, and the search covered a 10-year period from 2002 to 2012, and we considered that that 10-year search period would give us the breadth and depth of literature available and the most current and evolving discussions and critiques. So an initial trawl through these global databases, spurred up over 8,000 articles. From this number, we were then able to refine our search a number of steps further until we got to approximately all the relevant journal articles we thought would be relevant to include in our repository. So the repository now contains just over 1,000 peer-reviewed journal articles, and they're categorised as such, as you can see there, from adaptation in agriculture, health, human rights, through to legal perspectives. It's a big database, and it is still evolving. We're still in the process of adding new papers as they are published, so it's something that we hope will continue to grow. The robustness of this database, it's basically scientifically sound evidence and information on climate justice, and it's the first of its kind, and it can be used and accessed by anyone who's concerned on climate justice issues, not just an academic, whether you're a practitioner or a politician. The information is there to be used. In addition to you can see there, that's a screenshot of the repository hub itself, and it's located on our university's website. It's easily accessible. You just need to go into our website and it will be there for you to use. It's a global first. It's not been done anywhere before. And again, it goes back to the indication that Mary Robinson had said, indicated to our principal, the need for one portal where you can get access to good quality information, and particularly in an area like climate justice, this information can be used to underpin policies and directions for actions for the future. So what we have done is basically make this information easily available to everyone. It includes the repository contains not just the journal articles, but what we've done is we've conducted reviews of each of the articles set against a number of criteria, and that was to determine some key things in terms of what is it authors are setting out to do, how does it relate to climate justice, what was found, and how can it influence policy and practice in the future. So essentially, searching for that reference, that information, that data, we've actually made it easier for you to be able to access. Like I said, the material is there to be used, so please do take a look. So whilst the repository is a fundamental part of our resource hub, we have other resources too launched on this website. We have a dedicated and knowledgeable staff, teaching staff who take on the ideals of climate justice, and we push that through our teaching programs at postgraduate level. In terms of research, I've been fortunate to be working in partnership with many organisations addressing the complex nature of gender and social equity issues in some of the poorest countries across the globe. So working in places like Mozambique, Malawi, Bangladesh and Pakistan has informed me with an insight into the difficult situations in which people and communities find themselves. And from this, the added complications of climate change now drives my thirst to conducting research, not only to understanding how climate change is affecting lives and livelihoods of people, but working towards finding solutions and ways forward to help their cause. And I think this is to this end that we're conducting research to try and get to some of those questions. And we also have a number of PhD students who are working in these areas too. So here we have a snapshot of the climate justice website, which you can see there today, which contains the repository and information on some of the elements of teaching and research you've heard about. We really would welcome your feedback on that, and we have also created a dedicated LinkedIn discussion group to which you will be invited to become part of. The LinkedIn group invitations will go out in the next week or a couple of weeks, and we're hoping that this could be used this resource hub could be used as a platform for building our knowledge on climate justice issues, but also used as a platform that can be used, to facilitate other collaborations too. So in terms of a vision for the future, for me, climate justice is hugely important, and what we have created here is a valuable asset. It's the place to go to for good, reliable, sound information that's free from political bias. Whether you're an academic, practitioner or politician, it's easy to use, easy to find and easy to digest. So what we have taken is a global lead in responding to the need for this scientifically sound information. And I guess what I would like to see in the future is for this resource hub to grow and to foster new collaborations. We will continue to add and build on our repository, so we don't intend to stop at 1,100 articles. The more papers that are published, we will continue to scour the journals and have them launched in our repository. We hope to facilitate cutting-edge research in this area too, promoting discussion, debate and dialogue on new and emerging issues around climate justice. And for me, particularly of concern is what I've heard in the audience is in terms of how do we move forward? What are the next steps? There's so much that we already know, but I think in terms of moving forwards, in terms of policy and implementation of ideas, where do we need to go to next? What are those research agendas? What do we not know? What do we need to find out? So engage with us and help us to play our part in continuing in contributing to Scotland's efforts to tackling the global challenges of addressing climate justice. So I've just run through that very, very quickly because I know we're extremely short of time. But if you've got any questions that you want to ask or any information that you need to do contact me. Our email address is there. So if you have any questions, come and find me. Thanks.
We support Scotland's Climate Justice Fund.
Scotland has committed to world-leading carbon reduction targets
in order to reduce the future impact of climate change.
Yet we know climate change is impacting on communities worldwide already.
Increasingly erratic weather, increasing numbers of droughts and floods are taking the toll.
And it is the world's poorest communities who are most vulnerable
and who are least equipped to respond.
The injustice is that those least responsible for climate change are most vulnerable to it.
That's why Scotland's calling for climate justice.
Climate justice.
Climate justice.
Climate justice links human rights and development and puts people at the heart of our economic systems.
Climate justice is the ethical obligation to share our benefits from industrialisation
with those affected by the climate change it has caused.
Climate justice helps the world's poorest communities adapt to the impact of the changing climate.
Climate justice highlights that women
suffer more than men from climate change and seeks to address that.
Climate justice tackles the impact of climate change now and seeks to reduce its impact in the future.
Let's make this a year of climate justice.
Scotland is playing its part, but we need worldwide action. Share Scotland's ambition to deliver climate justice. Share Scotland's ambition to deliver climate justice.